All right, so today we're diving into the world of web content management. We got a super interesting set of excerpts from RoleCatcher, that career platform everyone's talking about. Seems like someone out there wants to go beyond just posting cat memes, huh?
Yeah, we're digging deeper here. It's about more than just what these web content managers do. It's about how you even get into this field, what skills matter, and where this whole career path can lead.
Love it. So, RoleCatcher makes it sound like a web content manager is basically the architect of a company's entire online presence. Sounds like more than just writing blog posts, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's way bigger. Think of it this way. If a company's website is like a ship, the web content manager is the captain, navigating those sometimes rough waters of the internet. They're not just steering, they're making sure everything's running smoothly, the crew's on point, and that they're heading in the right direction to reach that, I don't know, treasure island of business success.
Okay, so it's strategic, like being a marketing mastermind, kind of.
You got it. And this is where RoleCatcher points out something kind of interesting. They talk about all the flexibility and creativity this job offers, but then, bam, they hit you with the reality of deadlines and the fast-paced nature of it all.
So no working from the beach in your pajamas kind of thing.
Well, maybe sometimes. I mean, remote work is definitely a perk they mention, but you got to be on your game because keeping up with trends, algorithms, all that, it's part of the deal.
You need that balance, right? The creativity to make awesome content, but also the analytical side to track the data, the SEO, all of that.
Exactly. Speaking of SEO, this is where RoleCatcher gets really practical. Think of Google as this massive library. SEO is like putting the right labels, keywords on your website's book so the right people can actually find it amongst millions of others.
So it's not just about beautiful writing, it's about knowing what people are actually searching for. That's wild.
And that's just the beginning. RoleCatcher goes deep on UX, which is all about making sure the website isn't just findable, but also enjoyable to use. You know, those websites you love. They're easy to navigate, they look good, the content just flows.
It's like the difference between a well-organized store that's easy to shop in versus a cluttered mess where you can't find anything.
Exactly. And like running a store, there are rules online too. RoleCatcher reminds us about those legal and privacy standards that web content managers got to be on top of.
Right, because even if your content's amazing, if it's not compliant, you're in trouble. So where does RoleCatcher even suggest someone start in this field? So they lay it all out, almost like leveling up in a video game.
Yeah, like you start as a web content coordinator, which sounds like the perfect way to learn the ropes.
Get your feet wet, but with some guidance.
Yeah, exactly. RoleCatcher talks about creating and gathering content, but always making sure it matches the company's style, their rules.
Okay, so following the playbook, learning by doing, but you're also figuring out what the audience likes, right? Checking those website stats to see what works and what doesn't.
Totally. And RoleCatcher says as you get better, you might move up to web content specialist. This is where it gets interesting. Imagine going from following recipes to creating your own dishes.
Ooh, I like that analogy. So what's on the menu for a web content specialist?
Well, RoleCatcher highlights how you go from just making content to building a whole strategy. You're thinking bigger picture now, not just writing.
Like, what content will actually grab the right people? How do we keep them coming back for more?
Exactly. And how do we even measure if it's working? This is where all that SEO, AV testing, those digital marketing tools RoleCatcher talks about, that's where they come in. You're trying to get people to the website, which means you got to think like those algorithms, know what makes people click.
Okay, but with all this talk of algorithms and SEO, it's starting to sound kind of, I don't know, robotic. Where does the creativity fit in?
That's the cool part. You need both. It's not enough to write well. You got to write strategically, make it captivating, something that works for people and search engines.
So a wordsmith and a data whisperer. That's a tough combo.
It is. And don't forget about compliance. RoleCatcher really stresses that at this level, you're more responsible for making sure the content is all legal, all above board.
Right, because one wrong move, and it's a PR nightmare. Nobody wants that. So I'm guessing this is where those communication skills, teamwork, all that comes in. Working with designers, developers, marketing folks.
You're reading the RoleCatcher playbook. It's super collaborative, especially as you climb that ladder to web content manager.
Right.
That's when you go from doing the work to leading a team of content creators.
Not just a manager, but a mentor, right?
Yeah.
Inspiring your team to do their best.
For sure. And remember that big picture strategy we talked about. The web content manager, they're developing it, putting it into action, making sure it lines up with the company's goals, that it's on time and on budget.
Higher stakes now. So what does RoleCatcher say about actually being a web content manager? What's a normal day like?
Okay, picture this. You start your day checking website stats, looking for trends, anything that needs fixing. Then you're in meetings, brainstorming content ideas, handing out projects, giving feedback. And throughout the day, you're talking to stakeholders, keeping them in the loop, handling any problems.
Wow, that's a lot. And those communication skills are key, right?
Definitely. You're the link between your team, the higher-ups, sometimes even the public. You have to explain your vision clearly, manage expectations, and handle any curveballs smoothly and professionally.
So you need nerves of steel, the patience of a saint, and to think strategically, all while juggling like flaming torches.
And never losing sight of the goal. Amazing, engaging content that gets results.
Now, for those overachievers out there, RoleCatcher mentions one more level, right? Like reaching the peak of the web content management mountain.
Oh yeah, they do. That, my friend, is the senior web content manager. That's where you become the content king or queen, shaping not just a website, but the whole online presence of a company.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What makes it so senior? What sets it apart?
It's all about that big picture thinking. Senior web content managers aren't just focused on the website. They're thinking about how content works everywhere. Social media, emails, everything to hit those big, ambitious goals. They're like the architects of this whole digital world, making sure everything, no matter where it is, matches the brand's style and message.
So less about writing the content, more about setting the strategy, overseeing everything, making sure it all runs perfectly.
Exactly. And remember how we talked about data? At this level, you're swimming in it. Senior web content managers are constantly digging into the numbers, finding trends, using that info to shape their strategy and guide the team.
So you gotta love data, but also be a leader with vision, a storyteller who uses data, and a master communicator. Are there even people like that out there?
They're out there. And RoleCatcher seems to think that you, dear listener, can be one of them.
I love their optimism. But what really stands out to me is that it's not just about the technical skills. You need creativity, analytical thinking, leadership, and that drive to always be learning and adapting.
You nailed it. That's something RoleCatcher keeps emphasizing. Being a lifelong learner, especially in a field like web content management that's constantly changing.
Which brings us to something we've been dancing around. AI.
Ah, yes. The elephant in the digital room. Right. RoleCatcher doesn't shy away from that, do they?
Not at all. They lean right into it. On one hand, you have tools like RoleCatcher itself, using AI to make job hunting easier. But then there's the actual work of a web content manager, which could be changed by AI too.
Right. AI, helpful assistant, and potential job stealer all at once.
So how do we work with it, not against it? What's RoleCatcher's take?
Well, they don't have all the answers, no one does. But they really stress the importance of staying in the loop, being adaptable, and focusing on those things AI can't do, at least not yet.
Give me the secret sauce, RoleCatcher. Spill the tea. What can humans do that robots can't?
Okay, they talk a lot about emotional intelligence, being creative, thinking critically, solving those really tough problems. The stuff that takes empathy, intuition, that human spark that AI hasn't quite figured out.
So don't be scared of AI. Figure out how to use it to your advantage.
Exactly. Like, AI might be able to write a decent blog post, sure. But can it really get your audience their feelings and then tell a story that moves them, that makes them want to do something?
That's where humans shine. Okay, so I'm getting the sense that RoleCatcher wants people to not just survive, but really thrive in this digital world that's always changing.
Absolutely. They give you the tools, the knowledge, everything you need to navigate the job market, learn important skills, and stay ahead of the game.
And they make it all about the human side of things, which is really refreshing.
For sure, especially in this world obsessed with algorithms and automation.
Speaking of which, RoleCatcher doesn't just talk about using AI for good, they actually do it.
Yeah. And one of the best examples is their RoleCatcher Copilot AI. It's like having a career coach right in your pocket.
Okay, tell me more. Tell me more. What can this Copilot AI actually do?
Imagine this. You're looking at your resume, and it just feels, I don't know, well, that's where Copilot AI comes in. It checks out your skills, experience, even the little details in those job descriptions, and helps you tailor your resume and cover letter to really stand out.
So it's like a professional resume writer, but powered by AI and probably way cheaper.
Exactly. And it does more than just that. RoleCatcher says this Copilot AI can even help you get ready for interviews.
No way. How is that even possible?
Well, apparently it uses its AI brain to look at common interview questions for different jobs. It can even do mock interviews with you, so you can practice your answers and get feedback.
That's amazing and also a little creepy. Seriously, is there anything AI can't do?
That's the question, isn't it? But even with all the cool stuff AI can do, RoleCatcher seems to believe it's best used as a partner, not a replacement.
Like they say, it's not man versus machine, it's man with machine.
Exactly. And that's really what RoleCatcher is all about. They're not just throwing technology at the whole job searching thing. They're building tools that help people take charge of their careers, learn valuable skills, and feel confident navigating this crazy digital world.
Like they're saying, hey, we got your back, now go out there and kill it.
And the coolest part, they have all these great resources, some free, some paid, so it's accessible to everyone no matter how much money you have.
Love that. Okay, so we've talked about AI, we've explored this whole world of web content management, but here's what I'm wondering. Rolecatcher sees everything that's going on in the job market. What's coming next? Any predictions?
Such a good question. You're right, they're definitely in the know. One thing they emphasize is how important hybrid skills are becoming.
Hybrid skills, now that's interesting. Tell me more.
It's all about combining those hard skills, the technical stuff, with those human skills we were talking about, like creativity, communication, thinking outside the box, empathy, all those things that are harder for a robot to do.
So it's not enough to just be a coding whiz or a data expert. You also have to be a good storyteller, a strategic thinker, and someone who works well with others.
Exactly. RoleCatcher says the people who can do both, the technical and the human stuff, those are the ones who will succeed in the future.
It's like they're saying, be a Renaissance person. Well-rounded, good at a bunch of things, ready for anything.
Love it. And that's what's so great about really digging into this stuff. It's not just about one job or one industry. It's about noticing those bigger trends that help us figure out this whole work-life thing.
Totally, it's all connected. So whether you're a web content master or just starting out, here's the takeaway. Never stop learning, be curious, and don't underestimate how powerful human connection is, even in a digital world.
Couldn't have said it better. It's a journey, not a destination.
Truth. All right, folks, that's all the time we have. Huge thanks to our listeners for this awesome deep dive request. We've barely scratched the surface of what RoleCatcher has to offer, so definitely check them out. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and send us your deep dive requests.